So now we go on to look at the Rashi as it relates to the female, to the concept of a person who wants to be a slave. And this is something that's very important. If a person wants to be a slave, the Torah tells us not only is slavery abhorrent for us today from the perspective of the fact that somebody who is a slave, somebody who's enslaving another person is doing an offensive thing. For the rabbis' understanding of the Torah is that there's another aspect to the slavery which is so abhorrent and offensive and really just the opposite of what we're supposed to be about. And that is, let's say the slave says, this is in chapter 21, verse 5, this refers to the Hebrew slave. Let's say the slave says, I don't want to leave. He's supposed to go free after 6 years. Let's say he says, I don't want to go free. He says, I love my wife, I love my master. He says, as Ishti v'espanai, he says, I love my Canaanite wife, because we're told that if the master wants to give the slave a Canaanite wife, if he already has his own Jewish wife, then the master will be allowed to give him a Canaanite wife in order to make Canaanite children. Now this Hebrew slave says, listen, I want to stay with them. I want to stay a slave. I don't want to go free. I like my life as a slave. Well, it's a great life. Why? I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to pay tuition. I don't have to pay for my kids' education at Columbia. I don't have to pay for rent. I don't have to buy food. I get it all. I get everything from the master. It's a great life. And he says, I don't want to leave. And he says, in fact, I have a Canaanite wife here. I don't want to leave here. So what do? He says, the master takes him to the court. He takes him to the door or to the doorpost. The master takes an awl and he nails his ear to the door with the awl. He nails his ear to the door with the awl. And the word martseya, the numerical value of this is 400. And the Baal HaTurim says that's to indicate the 400 years in Egypt. Why is he nailing his ear to the door with the awl? So the Rashi tells us, quoting the Midrash, is to say, says Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, this ear which heard at Sinai, do not steal. And you ignore that. You went and stole. Therefore, let it be bored. But then Rashi says, let's say he sold himself. This ear which heard at Sinai, Ki li b'nei Israel avadim, the children of Israel are slaves to me. And what did he do? He went and acquired a master for himself. Tiratze, let it be bored. This ear which heard about our destiny. What is our destiny? Our destiny at Sinai was to be free people. We're not supposed to be taking the easy way out in life. We're not supposed to be coasting in life. And this person intentionally saying, I'm going to be a low level. I'm not going to try to reach my highest level. I'm going to be subservient to this guy, this master. He's going to worry about everything. All I have to do is take out his trash every day. He's selling himself short. He should have been pushing himself to reach a higher level. And so therefore he says, I want to be a slave forever. The Torah said you're not supposed to be a slave. The Torah says you're supposed to strive for greatness. Well, this person is striving for slavery. Therefore, he's ignoring his divine commandment. He's ignoring the reason why he was created. Therefore, this person, we have to hammer his ear against the wall, to pierce his ear, to remind him of this teaching. We're supposed to be slaves to God, not to some human master. And of course, there's a lot of parallels to this in our own lives. Are we reaching our potential? Are we allowing ourselves just to be slaves to some human master, or are we trying to push ourselves to be slaves to Hashem Yisparach and not to this human master? That's the essence of this teaching. Okay, let me pause and take a question about this. I see that there's beautiful questions coming.